to think what I should post, to making a post maybe in 5 minutes flat, maybe at times sitting at the airport waiting lounge or somewhere just when the flight is about to take off and it's just circling there. So a lot of thoughts which come in and how you refine, reprocess, you add a picture to it or some creative and how do you make it and post it. So effectiveness technically could vary from various people to people, but broadly for a chartered accountant, it would be maybe to express what people say as his thought leadership, to build maybe a personal brand. And brand means, I mean, you're visible by your content on this platform and you use this content to express your views. And generally, what I do is when I'm speaking in some seminar, I generally post on that day that this is where I'm speaking and this is what I'll be speaking and this is where I'll be sharing my views on. So what I do is to make a synopsis of that topic, I break it up into maybe not more than six takeaways or six pointers which I would be speaking on. And when I post on that, there is a thought process which grows into it. It's a flow chart which I make of my thoughts, and I get a lot of comments, feedbacks on that, and I respond to that. So I look at the post a couple of times, and then finally it gets entirely stored maybe in my mind as a mind map, what you could say. So when I speak, technically I speak with a structure. So when I speak on LinkedIn, I technically I don't need a structure because I'm my own formula. It's the teach formula or the cheat formula. How you take it. The cheat stands for the content, the H stands for the hashtags, the E stands for the engagement, the A stands for the appreciation acknowledgement you do, and the T stands for the timing. So so you can toggle it to cheat. The cheat formula attracts some more eyeballs. Then you say the teach formula. Teach thoda घिसा पिटा लगेगा. So cheat would be, that's what in LinkedIn you use certain words or a to shock. So as they say, when you're posting a content, you have a tagline which attracts, which is a hook like a magnet. Why should somebody read your post? There are 1,000 people posting on LinkedIn daily. There are 20 posts which will hit your timeline. So what do you read and why should you read is something where unless it attracts, so that's the hook. So cheat stands for content and technically LinkedIn is all about content. And there are n number of people who would be writing content for you. They call themselves content writers, they call themselves digital marketers, they would call them by various names: content coach, content curators, content shapers. Anything you add to content, you can have one adjective, and you could be a strategist, a mastermind, or whatever. Now, these guys guide you on what is to be written, or they would also write it for you. Now, one, as an experiment, and I love experimenting and I love various hacks, so I've also experimented with these guys and girls. The point is, how would a 20-year-old just step in the shoes of a 55-year-old? A lot of knowledge is available on the internet. A lot of knowledge. If you ask, I want to make a post on XYZ, the meta will give you a post and you can just copy paste, or there are n number of classes now who tell you how to use AI to have a content calendar and post it for about a month or so. So as a professional, what should you post? And we are all chartered accountants and we are all partners in nation building. As we say, we are all ones who pride ourselves in service before personal gain. And we all would ideally like to be projected as thought leaders or experts or experienced, excellent, the three E's, as we would say: experience, expertise, and excellence in our profession. And technically, the content should showcase the quality of our thoughts, what we would, the depth of our knowledge. As I say, When you are deep, you go 1 mile deep and 1 inch or 1 meter wide, so that entire fundamental basic and the sound knowledge which you have would be reflected on the platform. And you may take your own subject of expertise, whether it could be taxation, it could be audit, it would be valuation, it could be anything. So you showcase that as your professional skill, professional acumen. And then it's just not professional. You add something of your personal values also. So it's a mix of your profession plus your personal values that you bring out. Ideally, you post content. How much content you post? Maybe once every day. Do you have the time to post it? Obviously, at times I get bored, though I may have thoughts and quality thoughts which I could just freeze on it and make a post. I may really not wish to post given the. So let's say today I have not posted. I was speaking on one session from 4 to 5, and this session, that's why I took from 5:30 to 6:30. So I would have posted on what I would have spoken on these two sessions. But I'm signing two balance sheets on 28th and 29th. I have another full day session somewhere on 30th, and in between all a lot of audit issues. So ideally, you need to also be relaxed and in a cool frame of mind to post. So I don't believe in somebody who would have a content calendar and just it's there. This is what I'll post on Monday. This is what I'll post on Tuesday. It's ready, and I just post. I just post on the spur because it's my thought. It's the flow. So each one could have his own strategy to post. I generally post on my subject matter, or maybe let's say I professionally am a risk management guy. I deal with banks, but personally, out of passion, I'm a speaker. I am the national treasurer of the Professional Speakers Association of India. I was the Mumbai chapter president for the last 2 years. So communication is something which I now do more out of passion. And this is what I more speak on. So I speak more what my passion is than what my profession is. So each one may have his own view, his own thought process on what they should post. So that's the content. The content is one which would express the credibility of the thought leadership as one goes in the platform. Now, once your content is there, people are attracted to your content. People will tend to follow you. Now, the following will also depend whether your profile is quite made up. So, do you have a real good pic? And when you mean a pic, which is maybe a headshot, which has about, like they have for a visa, about 70% of that face should be visible. So that's what ideally they say a picture, a profile pic should be. The banner, which would showcase maybe what you do, or maybe if you have a tagline. So when I'm a risk guy, my tagline is whenever there is a risk, you need to de-risk, or every risk can be de-risked. So maybe that's the background banner I use. You could use any background banner to showcase what you are good at or what you're doing. And then how do you describe yourself? So one is people describe themselves either as what you do, for whom you do, and how you do, or they describe their achievements, they describe their titles, they describe what they want to do is. So some would they to transform 1 million people in my lifetime or whatever. So they would set their goals or something as a title. I'm not very keen on what my title is because I believe titles are secondary. The primary obviously would be your content, the authenticity of the content which is coming in, the quality of the content which is coming in. And people, if they see value, they would follow you, they would engage with you, they would try to connect with you formally. So the profiles will only aid that. And then your the about section, which describes you, Some try to make it very interesting. Some try to use a power play of words. A lot of skills can be put in there. So all of these create that curiosity or create that allurement for someone to really think of either following you or connecting you. So these are all what I would say the garnishings on top of your main dish, which is the content. So content is absolutely the king, the queen, the emperor, the empress, and all of it. And if you have something which where you say I've just been promoted, or this is what I did, or this is where I spoke on, you will get a lot of engagements in the terms of likes. Now the algo makes a post viral when it's not a like, it's a comment. And the algo will push it further when it's not just a comment of hi, hello, or something which the algo itself is prompting. It's a sort of a conversation and which goes on and on. So when the algo with its own parameters, and the algo keeps on tweaking these parameters multiple times because they don't want somebody to really mask the algo and play around. So they would basically tweak the algo, and at times they would prefer a poll, they would prefer a carousel, they would prefer a different pick, or they would not prefer a pick at times for spreading it, but they would see the post within the first 1 hour, what reactions it gets, think of circulating it a bit further in the next hour, and then they would maybe take it ahead and it could really go viral. Now, some things which absolutely I would not do in the content is just tag too many people. So if I'm tagging too many people to attract their attention that it should land on their post, well, yes, it lands on their post. But if those people whom they have been tagged just don't engage on that post, so the algo has one simple logic. If the person who's tagged doesn't feel it worth to engage, then I don't think the post is worth forwarding. So the algo won't forward this post ahead to multiple people. So don't tag people again without their permission. Don't just tag people just for and tag about 20 people on the post, and don't even use a lot of hashtags also. So I'll come to the hashtags on my H part, but I'll overlap this with C. So when I use the teach formula, the hashtags come second. When I'm using the cheat, the hashtags comes along with the content, and the hashtags. So at a lot of times people put in a hashtag where there is no follower. Now the hashtag is basically used for directing the post to that hashtag. So if somebody follows a particular hashtag, he will click on the hashtag, and those posts which are there, or he's pinned that hashtag, those posts which come on that hashtag will land on his field. Now, if there is a hashtag which is used which hardly has any followers, the purpose of using that hashtag is entirely lost. So one is, don't create your hashtag. If you create one, ensure it has followers. Because if so, I use the hashtag risk de-risk. I have not promoted it for some reason. It has just a couple of hundreds of followers. So I use it at times, I don't use it at times. Now the point is, if I use it, I'm wasting a hashtag, because primarily the algo only makes 3 or 4 hashtags as its props to put it forward. And if I'm wasting one hashtag with very small followers, that may not do the trick. So if I use hashtags with multiple followers, let's say hashtags like marketing, like communication, like India, like social media, like personal development, like technology, like innovation, those hashtags will have multiple followers, but there'll be a lot of people posting on those hashtags. So your post could get lost also at a particular point of time, because everybody, if it's posting at 10 a.m. in the morning, which they think is the right time to post, or 11 a.m. in the morning, which is the right time to post, or maybe 6 p.m. in the evening. So again, if a very emperor hashtag, as they called, is being used, then your post could be just lost in that hashtag, and it would serve of no use. So choose your hashtags only wisely, about 3 or 4 hashtags. Again, where do you use the hashtags? Either you use the hashtags in between the posts, or you use hashtags at the end. I believe you suddenly see a hash and a blue in between your post. The visual appeal of the post is also not that great. So preferably use the hashtags at the end of the post, one in order. Just see that the spelling mistake of the hashtag is right, because you use one spelling mistake here and there, and that hashtag has 0 followers and it would land nowhere. The post would go nowhere. So that's where the H stands for. Then you come to the E, which is the engagement. Now, the point is, people will comment on your post, but there are a lot of people who would still make a post and not stay on the post. So, there will be people who would be commenting and you have not commented on their post. Now, the question is, if you don't comment on somebody's post for a long period of time, that person will consider it as a mark of disrespect and will not comment on your post going ahead. So, at least, if not engaging on his post, at least thank him for stopping by on your post and making a comment and wasting some precious time of his. So while it's you scratch my back, I'll scratch your back. It's that philosophy which works everywhere. I think if you have made a post, at least in the first 1 hour where the post goes viral, just ensure that you engage and thank those who have commented on your post. Now the question is, on those posts you engage and what visibility you get. So there's another strategy which a lot of LinkedIn users uses, that on some celebrities or some people who have great followers in lakhs, they would be the first ones to comment on their post. And if you are the first one, obviously his post sees traction, and there'll be about 100 200 people who would see that post, and when they see the post, obviously some percentage of them will see the comment, especially the first comment or the comment which comes most visible. And I have seen at times some of my comments which at times I express my view without being too rude. So I've seen some comments get as many as 500 plus impressions. So as many as 500 plus people have seen just my comment on someone's post. So engagements really matter as far as increase in your followers are concerned, because if somebody is seeing such a good post, the curiosity factor on a platform like LinkedIn is very high. He will just go back and see your profile. If he, that's where I said, if he sees a good profile, a great profile, the chances of him following you are higher. And the point is, the number of followers you have is also a vanity metric. People just even post that thank you for having 10,000 followers or 20,000 followers or 25,000 followers or whatever milestone they feel that they have reached or whatever. And that post also gets some views or comments, because the easy thing for people to do is to just like someone or just put a thumbs up or just say congrats or great or amazing, which are the same props which the platform gives you. So the one more logic is that don't directly post in. At least 10 15 minutes, like a diesel engine, just warm up your car. So a diesel engine technically takes about 5 10 minutes to warm up, and then it gets into that fluidity and motion. So what they advise you is just start engaging on posts before you come in. So one hack you could do is, in your network there'll be a lot of people who would have their birthdays, they would have their promotions, they would have got a change of job. So that's which I call the other A, is the appreciation acknowledgement. That appreciation acknowledgement before you actually posts stops the algo for making that post go ahead. And uh, it's an overall piece. Then somebody sees the post, somebody checks your profile out, and once your profile is checked out, if he feels you're good, he'll basically follow you, or he may even send you a connection request. Now the last is the timing. Now the timing, what time do you post on the platform? Obviously, there are some posts where the timing is of essence. So basically, I still remember that there was some post which the Prime Minister had said something at about 8 o'clock in the night, and I had posted it at 8:05. Obviously, I don't post it in the night time, but because the content was relevant, because of the speed to market, I posted it at that time. Normally, I would post it at about 9 a.m. in the morning or 10 a.m. in the morning. Or if I have some thought, I would post something at about 6 o'clock or latest by 7. But technically by 8, I think most people who use this platform are ones who would use it when they are on their way to commute in the course of travel, or maybe once they have got up. So there are some 7 a.m.ers who would be engaging on this. They're habituated the moment they wake up, they would basically open the platform and just see some posts which are on their feed and comment. Or there are some who would finish their daily course and just before going to office and relaxing for about 10-15 minutes will basically open this platform and engage. Now, one is you can't post at 12 p.m. in the night because nobody is going to see that. You don't have an US audience who for them it's the morning time. So the timing is also relevant when you post to get in an audience. Now, the content. What content sells? Obviously, something where you have done something obviously gets good likes, not just comments, it would get good likes. The post which gets the most engagement, and obviously I've a research done of over 1250 posts of mine. I have research done from about 50 people whom we had a cohort and whom we were just brainstorming on what is right and what is not. Obviously, there's no right and wrong answer because at times some of our posts have gone viral where we have been surprised, and some posts we thought we should do really well have not done anything at all. But emotions still sell. If I pick out the top five posts of mine which have done well, I think three of them would be emotional posts, and two of them would be posts where I've achieved something and people have seen that achievement as significant to basically put that congrats or something of that sort. And there was one post on which I had written about some lady, a 95-year-old lady who started going to school at the age of 88. And that was a post when maybe it hit a lakh plus, or maybe where I'd posted something on charity or something which we do. I think where it stucks an emotional chord, you may not know, and what could do viral. So I think that should never be your focus. Your focus should just be on expressing yourself. Your focus should be on just yourself getting better and better at your art and craft. Because when you post over a period of time, your words get better, your thoughts get crisp, concise, and absolutely certain, and you have that confidence and clarity. And you really don't know which skill you pick up in the process. So your words improve, your construction of sentences improves, the mix between a short post, a long post, a middle post, that improves. If you feel the post is too long, you can do great edits. So you become a great editor along the way. So a lot of things. And as I say, when I speak, I use this as a ground for getting more views. And a lot of times when I'm speaking on something I've posted and people have given me multiple views, and some of those views have really been the game changers, which we would be uh, using the quotes, some of them we would use on uh, our speeches. Great connections made along the way. I think a lot of connects which we have in our uh, network have been on relations which we built through LinkedIn. So, great platform. Again, a great platform for people who want to chase jobs. And there are a lot of people from HR and a lot of people who are helping people crack interviews, getting a good mileage and good engagement and good followers because they are useful. So the base bottom line is if you're useful, you'll get the numbers. A question is you either be useful or you post quality or you stay relevant or unless you are a celebrity. So you may have a Sunil Shetty's posting, an Aditya Govitrikar posting, whether they really post or somebody is managing it for them. As far as the audience who engages with them is concerned, they are engaging with some celebrity and they get the views also. So one, yes, then the more you have, the chances of you becoming an influencer and again being in demand and being asked to attend those LinkedIn live events or maybe even be invited for various other promos is another bonus. The question is a lot of LinkedIn lives can also be done where you speak, you get and you have form your own community, your own tribe there and use it for your advantage. Now, question is a lot of people ask on whether I should have a LinkedIn premium account. Obviously, there's a price you pay for the LinkedIn premium account, and what do you get from that premium account? The premium account is you can only get to know who's viewed your profile, when he viewed your profile, and whether that makes sense to you to know who's stalking you or who's following you. Maybe for either of way, some small amount you pay, nothing much. The second is you get a few email credits. So if you are a job seeker, you can obviously to a HR guy, you can forward your resume. Now, job seekers post multiple, especially the young guys have about 50 to 100 of their applications going in. So with a normal LinkedIn profile, I don't think you can send more than 20 or so. So this gives you, I believe, some 30 more, and you could use that. So a lot of the job seekers have a premium profile. There are a lot of LinkedIn learning courses which you can also tap from the premium account. So, one, no harm in becoming a premium account member. There are some apps which also will give you how much postings you made in a year, what were those posts about, what percentile you are in the number of posts. And again, there is also one app which gives you your LinkedIn SSI score. Then obviously that's a score based on 100. That's based on four parameters, each parameter with a weightage of 25 marks. And that's a percentile. And that also gives you which percentile of your network, who is your network, or which percentile of the industry you are in. So it gives you an industry rank and it gives you a network rank. So a rank at the first percentile is obviously you're in the topmost. A score of about 75 plus is great. Something at about 80 plus is absolute genius. So that's what the scores, LinkedIn SSI scores LinkedIn has developed would give you a great indicator about where you stand in terms of your efficiency as perceived by the platform itself. So that's one part. Now, what do you write? What do you post? What do you follow? Now, one, people following you, whom do you follow? And how do you maintain a strategic connect with certain people? So a lot of people, if I want to get connected, it's something they plan well in advance. So for example, I would want to connect with, let's say, Gunjan Jain, and I don't know her. I would just uh, check her profile, send her a personal request, invite saying why I want to connect with her. Obviously, the connection is that the post which she does comes in your direct feed. Otherwise, you'll have to just go and type her name and look for the post. Or if you are following her post or you're commenting on her post for some number of days, obviously the algo tracks it and the algo itself will drop it in your feed at a point of time if you're following her. So following is just an act which you do on your own. You just send a follow button press, you followed that person. A connection is a request you make and that other person has to accept. Now, you just can't send a random request to anybody. and that random request somebody will follow. A lot of ladies ask me the question that we get a lot of connection requests from men, and should we follow them? Again, one is you can always unfollow or disconnect with anybody at any point of time. The point is, if you see his profile, if the profile is decent enough, he's a professional, maybe you feel there would be some value in connecting, you connect. One question which is also asked is somebody can really fake a profile or mask a profile. I said they can mask a profile, they can fake a profile, but they can't fake a character over long. And at a lot of times, I think there is a lot of uncivil conversation which goes on. So obviously, you have two choices: to absolutely disconnect at that point of time, or you can even complain to the platform and they would ensure that that person is blacklisted, maybe for some time or forever. So not necessarily uh, you do not accept connection request, or you be very selective in connection requests. Maybe somewhere where you feel there's an element of doubt, you decide you can accept. Obviously, you can disconnect at any point of time. So one is whom I follow. I follow people whom I feel give some great quality posts. So subjects of my interest, I could follow. I could follow companies. I could follow certain hashtags, and that's finally what I would do. Now, a lot of people say कि I would run out of professional ideas, and how do I just keep on churning new creative content, innovative content, unique content, a wow content time after time? Other point is, with everyone using Chat GPT, most of them using Chat GPT, how can I ward off that perception that I'm not using Chat GPT and making something authentic? Now, I think the second point is, just don't worry whether people perceive or not, or whether you use it or not. I think any creative idea of your own or an idea with Chat GPT props up would be found out sooner or later by somebody who's actually using it. So, one, use your original thought. Maybe use chat gpt for maybe refining your post, or maybe giving you some more pointers. If you agree with it, you stay with it. Otherwise, stick back to your own post. Obviously, you can get some good creatives made, some images made from that, or a lot of people post their own images. I feel I see a lot of girls especially posting a lot of selfie images, and they do get a lot of engagement. I really fail to understand why at a professional level, or maybe at a charter account level, I would fail to understand. And I see among the young content creators who say they are doing branding, that's another thing which I fail to understand. Branding is not content writing. Branding is a visibility which is created out of competency at its core, which is enabled by credibility, which is enabled by a commitment to deliver consistent value over time. So there are a lot of elements of C's, which is the certainty, which is the commitment to value, which is the competency, which is the credibility, which is the commitment, which is the consistency, and content is just one part which is showcasing that. For visibility, content will only enhance what you have at the root. A person with no substance, like a rolling stone, will gather no moss. Someone who doesn't have quality does some great post or gets the best content writer to do his content for him, sooner or later will be exposed, because once someone opens his mouth, in reality, the real brain behind, the real thought behind that person will obviously be exposed. And then maybe that imposter syndrome will actually set in reality. So just be as authentic as you keep up posting. I think you'll get better and better at everything. It's a trial and error. It's an experimental way. So just tweak it. At times, try to add some variety, make some humorous post, an emotional post. You could add something on some current news item. So I felt very strongly about what happened about 2 days back in Pelgam. I posted on it. Obviously, something which you feel, if we've done something good at any sport or someone has done well, I think it need not be always on your profession. There could be some hobbies you do, something you like, or you like some people, or you want to actually appreciate certain people. So you could also do that. I think a lot of times these offbeat posts also do well because they showcase a certain side of you. When you appreciate somebody, it's bringing out a point that you are not afraid of giving credit to someone else. So someone would obviously perceive you in a particular manner, and perceptions are formed from LinkedIn posts, especially by recruiters. So if a recruiter gets a biodata and that recruiter checks you out on LinkedIn and practically finds nothing, so not that based on the profile, it will be a bad perception. It will be a neutral perception at best. It definitely won't be a good perception. It won't be a bad perception also. But suppose somebody sends in his profile with a lot of social media quality posts, that will maybe tilt in a equal level of what do you call, qualifications or experience or gender or location, whatever it could be, the primary screening criteria. So that would be a skill also which would be used for a pull effect rather than a push effect. So instead of you pushing and asking that I need a job, create your profile, create your skills so strong that it also gives you the pull. And finally, I always speak for about 50 minutes for a 1 hour session, and 10 minutes we can take any questions, or we can brainstorm more. One is the skills you endorse yourself for, and the recommendations you take and the recommendations you give. So somehow I've at a stage where I'm at a practicing level and in a niche area, whether I get recommendations or not will not translate into the work I get, because there's a small market, there's a word of mouth, there's a way I've conducted myself as a public speaker, as a content writer, or maybe as a mentor to various people. So there's enough credibility, visibility, maybe I think, which is established. So I don't need somebody's recommendation to propel that further. Point is, I have given recommendations to various people, whoever I've asked for recommendations. If I know them, obviously I'll recommend them for whatever skill I know. The second is, what is the skill you endorse? So I've seen people who currently are doing something else, and you have some skill which was there 20 years back as a skill. So, and really whether that's a skill. So people have MS Excel as a skill, Word as a skill, PowerPoint presentation as a skill. I really don't know whether people really understand the meaning of what is a skill and what is the word which they've put on the platform. So somebody like me, if I was a recruiter, would be absolutely put off. Is if that person can't dissect between a skill and what is showcasing. Now the question is, how many skills? The point is, you and get yourself endorsed for your top skills. Now, I didn't know this, and I had showcased certain skills earlier. And the point is, I've got endorsement for those skills, but I stopped at the 10 skills which I had showcased in my first 10 years. So I was in this platform from 2004. I started using this platform only actively from 2019. From 2004 to 2019, I would have put about 10 to 12 skills. From 2009, I've just posted three additional skills because most of my skills were the technical skills which I have posted. Now I've posted some soft skills, but I've posted some very few top skills which are my key top skills. I've seen people post 100 skills, and in that 100 skills, there would be about 10 skills which would finally hint at the same basic skill and an overarching skill within which these are some associates or some subsidiaries. So be very mindful of the number. I personally feel you can't be a master of more than 20 skills because specific is terrific. I think it's all in the niche where you have the riches. So don't showcase multiple skills, all common skills or skills which it just does not. And maybe I think LinkedIn does not openly publicly flash people who have more than 99 plus endorsements. So your goal should be getting 99 plus endorsements for every skill you made. Have your profile updated, have, because otherwise it will land up on your field and you would have congratulated that person, and that person would then tell you, as if you have done some wrong, that no, I'm no longer in that company. But boss, you should have updated your profile. Yeah, what mistake did I make? So, or you wish people on a birthday and he says, no, this is not my real birthday, my birthday is something else. I don't know why LinkedIn has picked up this date as my birthday. So I said, why haven't you corrected it? So instead of him not correcting his wrong, he's chiding me for wrongly giving some compliment, which is again something which is an acceptable part. You might post something which you might get trolled for also. You will get very insensitive, and I believe at times some rude comments. I think just ignore. If they're too rude, you can ask the platform to block them. Otherwise, maybe don't write also something which can really hurt something. Any religious post, any political post are absolutely a no-no. I don't think that's a platform. It's a platform for spreading knowledge, gaining knowledge, spreading wisdom. It's all about what you can give so that you can receive. It's all about sharing so that you are rewarded with the care which you give to help others. I think once you help others, you also put yourself in the position that you would also receive help in turn. So one is be selfless. Be one who's a giver always, and don't feel free to experiment and just enjoy yourself on the platform. It's the process of being there that would give you all the fun, and maybe the bonus which will come along the way will be complimentary. Yeah, thank you. So any questions I can take. Yeah.
So, sir, I have one question.
Yeah.
So, sir, regarding LinkedIn posts, so how long that post should be? Like usually LinkedIn, I have seen so many link members.
I'll ask you alternate question. When you read someone's post, how much is your attention span?
So the first thing that if because it's being shown first three lines, so if that three lines are interesting, I'll see more on that post.
So even
And
so, I would put it this way: even if your first three lines are really interesting for someone to go deep in, if he sees another 10 lines, I don't think he'll see the 14th line. So I don't believe it has to be too short a post. It
hmm,
can't be too long a post.
hmm,
Something I believe about 300, 400 words should be good enough.
okay,
So
okay.
not a small post, not a long post, a mid-sized post should be good
Like
enough.
roughly around 10 lines post.
At certain points of time, you can be strategic. At a certain points of time, I used to put some thoughts and I used to ask the audience, have I really missed something? And audience likes to point out mistakes. So audience would comment. So that was one strategy of getting engagement on your post. At certain points of time, I would deliberately make a spelling mistake. I would not edit it. People have pointed that out. They enjoy. And there were at least 10 people who pointed that out. I got 10 engagements. So I thank each one of them, and they were really happy that they pointed out a mistake. So people get the thrill of engaging on anything. So one is at times we experimented, not that at this stage I would do it. In COVID we experimented with everything, and yes, we were a research lab of about 25 cohorts at that time, and we used to make our posts. At that point of time, it was the post used to be trending on a particular hashtag, and our post used to trend at will. Now there is something where you get a expert badge. There are some questions you answer. If you answer those questions, obviously LinkedIn will give you a recognition voice. obviously I just did it for the fun. I had some four recognition voices and then I just stopped commenting. It was basically I found there were people who never knew anything on the subject matter and talking. So you, as one of my friends says, you have a 25-year-old a relationship coach, you have somebody who's whatever at whatever age calling herself or himself the world's youngest coach or whatever. So I'm not commenting too much on that, but obviously you would need some experience, some maturity, not necessarily the gray hairs, but yes, some wisdom will obviously come through experience. And one when they say you need 10,000 hours, obviously there is some thought to it. So you just can't be somebody within such a short period of time. I think nothing is achieved by hard work.
Yes. Thanks, sir. Anybody else wants to uh, ask anything before we move on?
Sir, I want to ask about the consistency. Like in LinkedIn, it is said like you should keep posting twice, thrice in a week to maintain that consistency.
Because out of sight is out of mind, right? If you don't post, the algo also doesn't recognize you. People who are following you also don't recognize you, so they would follow somebody else. So obviously, consistency in any field is a great virtue. So same is this platform. You
So
you
the
post, you post at a particular time, you post on a particular time of the week. Fine, even if it's once, then it's something like people would, the post has to be of such great quality that people should wait for that day to come. It's like your favorite serial, which keeps on coming at a particular time of a week. You eagerly look forward to them. So that's the way it is. And
thank
obviously, you'll see a huge drop off in your engagement if you post after some point of time. I've seen that.
okay, sir.
And every post you uh, have on the platform, it reaches a different set of audience. And among that set of audience, there are people who would follow you. Your followers will get on increasing. So obviously, there's some correlation between the number of followers and the number of posts you make. Not just consistent posts, but also the number you make.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, one point from me, though, lot of questions whichever in my mind you already answered while sharing your experience. So, one is target audience. You rightly pointed. We post accordingly, right? We
Yeah.
post the content which we as per our target audience. So one point is normally these days people are doing, they are increasing their followers. I am talking about the corporate guys also like us.
Yeah.
We work because we want to enjoy 5,000, 10,000 followers kind of thing.
Mhm.
And what people do every day, they have the kind of a limit 100, 120, 150 profile they can. So they are randomly just adding the people. I feel this is not making sense actually, but just want to have your view. Just adding followers which you don't know the people and then started everyone coming to you, reaching to you. Thanks for adding me. Can you help me with this? So it is kind of a unnecessary distraction for some time.
So the point is, each one will have his view. So there are people who send me connection requests, I accept them. Some people are very choosy. I said, obviously, I have to learn from each one. There's something. But at times, the moment somebody connects and he sends you some sales request, that or he asks you for a donation, or he asks you for a job also, at a lot of times you just can't do everything to everyone. Obviously,
Yeah.
if certain things genuinely there are people and there you know there's a requirement and you have matched them and it happens, yes, it's for the good, but it may not happen always. So stay away from such people. But obviously, followers increasing is just a vanity metric, simple. The second thing is, because the followers are there, your people who would follow you would generally follow a person with a large follower base. Again, he gets a perception that guy is really somebody big or important or good qualitatively. Let me follow him. So that's one part. The second part is, if you are in the process of making a sale, which most of the people who are in LinkedIn are and are actually getting business, then the question of a target audience is important. So for somebody like me, my target audience is I work for banks and I work for wholesale banks. And a wholesale bank CFO or a CEO who's the one who would recruit me is not being there on the platform and seeing my post and getting impressed by that. He is impressed by maybe what I'm speaking on a public platform, what I'm writing and giving my views on, and maybe the reference which he gets from someone of his colleague who is being privy to my good service. And it's all about relationships and the first impressions you make when you are there to present your case. So the point is communication just makes a good impact. So that's why I'm not just posting on the platform, I'm using whatever opportunities I get to even speak. I was just speaking to students about an hour back, so that's my way of giving back to society. So obviously your personal values also play with your professional values, and it's an entire mix of you whom you are as a brand. It's not just your personal but the professional part mixing together. So you be a thought leader. A thought leader is technically expressing some thoughts which are good, but how unique, how creative, how unique, innovative or distinctive your thoughts are to propel you to a different space. I think we still lack those genuine thought leaders, maybe because of the fact that we don't have the depth of R&D or going into the depth of acquiring any knowledge. So that's why you see a lot of these thought leadership coming more from the West. Maybe we'll catch up soon, but as of now, from the West. So
Got it.
obviously, if you have a target, so let's say you want to follow somebody, you just can't follow him right now and ask for a job. So it has to be a 4 month down strategy where you'll slowly connect with him, you will engage with him, you will appreciate him for his post, you will wish him happy birthday, get to know him. Then you'll be as a person. Then you'll come with a problem. Then then the likability quotient will be there. Then he'll feel like helping you. Instead, when you connect with him and ask for a job, he'll be absolutely turned off. So maybe there was something, a strategic, selfish motive also in connecting. But yes, everything takes time.
Fully
I have
agree.
never done that,
Mhm.
but
Thank you.
hey, people do that.
Yes.
Clear.
Fine. I hope I was clear. People
Yes,
are.
yes.
Any
Thank
other
you.
question anybody who wants to ask?
So all everybody is everybody who's here active on this platform or reasonably active.
Yes, sir, active on this.
Good.
I think we should move on. So
Sure.
thank
Thanks. Thanks.
thank you, Abhijit sir, for this insightful session. Like I got to learn so many things, and I was especially about the premium LinkedIn premium part, because I was so confused whether to opt it or not. But now I'm clear. If I want to opt it, so what are the reasons of
Yeah.
opting the premium part?
But again there are a lot of people who would give you some good rates at that. So just hunt around or bargain around and you would get a decent rate. I don't think what the rates which are on offer, and somebody, I don't know how they manage to do it, but
Yes,
you could
there
get
are
it at,
multiple offers
yes,
depending on the research and also, like
yes,
if
yes.
I research
Nee,
multiple
not
times.
just not. I'm not talking what the platform offers you. I'm saying there'll be multiple other vendors who would give those.
Yes,
Maybe they've purchased in block or what they've
yes,
done. I really don't know, but
yes,
they
yes,
offer you, and it's not illegal to buy from them, I guess.
yes, yes,
Sure. Thanks.
yes.
Thank
Uh,
you.
I would like to invite CA Poonam Pathak ma'am for the vote of thanks and the certification of appreciation. Over to you, Poonam.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Gunjan. Uh, Thank you so much, Abhijit sir. I keep following you like since 3, 4 years and
Oh,
reading
great.
books,
Thanks.
and we met also at World Congress.
Yes, yes, yes. Mhm.
So LinkedIn is like a great platform. We can connect with people virtually, and then we met with them in a person also. So that is connection becomes
Yes.
strong. And thank you so much. Please accept vote of thanks on behalf of Team Friday Fleet. Uh,
Sure.
way you have expressed with the like we should maintain that authenticity and be authentic. So that is learning I will keep with me. And sir, as a token of love and affection, we are sharing certificate. Please accept.
Good. Thank you. You'll share me on
Yes,
WhatsApp.
yes, sir. On email ID, we will share.
So this can become a post for somebody, and he would say that this is what I'm privileged to receive a certificate of appreciation. But if I were to make a post that privileged to receive a certificate of appreciation from so and so for sharing, and this was a platform and shared my views. So I would add my knowledge, my 2 bits on that post, not just post this.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you.
Over to you, Gunjan.
Gunjan, you are on mute. I want to. Am I audible?
Yeah. Am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
I feel my apologies for that I am not available for that opening remarks. I was facing some technical issue at my system.
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, you were showing on the screen. You were showing on the screen, and your face is also like moving. So I was like, you are juggling with something or not. So I should wait or something. Then I'll start with the opening remarks or whatever I have in my mind. So
Actually,
I'll
the
just.
screen was stopped and I don't think what is happening going.
But it's okay because sir wanted to start on time. So that's why we started on time and start
Yeah.
with the opening remarks and then his introduction and then we start the session.
Gunjan, sorry,
Yeah.
only one point because I was in mobile call, suddenly back. So looks like session is over and we
Yes,
have to leave, right?
yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thanks for bringing Mr. Abhijit. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you all the participants who are here. Thank you for joining the session.
Thanks everyone.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye. चलो